Hey sophomores, let's dig into our context for our chapter on classical American civilizations. So we'll start where everything started for human life, in Africa. As we have learned in the past, there was the out of Africa theory, in which humans began in Africa and then spread all over the world. And we also learned earlier that early humans got to the Americas about 16,000 years ago. So as we know now that about 16,000 years ago, the first people came in and populated the Americas. All right, so we're going to fast forward some time to our time period of 600 BCE to 600 CE. This is an era of empires. It will be an era of empires not only in the Americas, North America, South America, but it's also an era of empires in Asia and Europe and Africa as well. So what we see in this time period is there is the building of these first really large empires in the world. And we're going to study some of them in our chapter. The Maya would be an example, M-A-Y-A. The Maya would be an empire that will form in the Americas in this time. They'll form in Mesoamerica. We will also see the Moche, M-O-C-H-E, in Peru, that will form at this time. And like many of these empires, what we will see is there will be a lot of advances in science and education. So the context in this time in the Americas as civilizations are forming, we'll see advances in science, education, especially studying the stars, forming calendars. We will see farming take off to feed large amounts of people. We'll also see the forming of militaries with soldiers. And one of the biggest ones we're going to see is the forming of trade networks. There will be large trade networks that will form in this time all over the world. We'll see some of those in Afro-Eurasia, Africa, Europe, and Asia. And we'll also see trade networks develop in the Americas. And as people trade more, they become more advanced. That is a rule of history. So when people trade more, they become more advanced because they start getting more goods from different peoples. And that's what we're going to see in this context, which will allow some places, like the city we see here that we'll study of Cahokia, to become a very powerful trade city. So, context overall, we see that people come to the Americas. They will start farming. They go through their own Neolithic revolution in this area. And they'll start forming large empires, have advances in science and education, and trade networks. All right. See you guys later in the vocab video. All right. So, yep. Bye-bye.